Hi, I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader. Excited to have you on today's episode of the Daily Dose of Sales Inception. So, topic I want to talk a little bit about today is active listening. And really, listening is the secret weapon of the top salespeople out there. And so, I think a lot of times we think listening is just being silent or just keeping our mouth closed. And it's a little bit more than that. And so I want to demonstrate some ways you can get better at listening in your sales conversations and, give you a couple tips to help you be a better active listener with people. So there's several ways we can do that. So it's, once again, it's not just being silent, although silence can be a way that you show you're listening. When someone is speaking to you, saying simple phrases like, okay, that makes sense. Oh, great. Gotcha. All those little words and phrases just show that you are listening to what they're saying and encourages people to continue to tell you more. And speaking of the words, tell me more. What another great way to listen or to get somebody to say a little bit more. There's when you ask someone, tell me more about that, most of the time they're going to tell you more about that. It's really interesting. Someone can say, you know what, I've just been struggling a lot with this problem in my business. I've got, people that they just don't want to work hard. Now, what does that mean? They don't want to work hard. That can mean 1,000 different things, right? Well, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Well, I have this employee, and then they go on and start to tell you what it means that they aren't working hard, right? And in actively asking a question to help them expound, you might uncover things that they don't realize or that would be important for you to be able to make the sale at the end of the day. Some other techniques that can help you show active listening. I've already referenced this week Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference. Two tools that are so good from that book is mirroring and labeling. So mirroring would be repeating back the last 1 to 3 words of a sentence or the most important 1 to 3 words of a sentence. So that same person says, hey, you know what? My employees, they just don't want to work hard. They don't want to work hard? Well, it's not that they don't want to work hard. It's just they don't do as good of a job as I would do if I was the one doing the work. Not as good of a job as you. Well, I like to have things done a certain way, and so it drives me crazy when my employees don't do it the way I would have them do it. Right? And so just by repeating those words, it's crazy how well that works. In fact, I've been up front in a room. I talk about mirroring, and someone says to me, oh, repeat the last 1 to 3 words. And then I go, yeah. So all you do is by repeating the last 1 to 3 words, and then I don't even realize it's happening. Like, it's so crazy how well mirroring works. And it's a great way to get people to expound and really tell you what they mean when they say something. I love labeling as well. Once again, that's another term from Chris Voss's book. And it seems like, it feels like, it sounds like. So great way to get people to uncover more or clarify things they've told you. And it gives you an opportunity to share what you're hearing them say. Oh, well, it seems like the problem isn't their work ethic. The problem is maybe they don't understand how you want things to be done. And what's great about labeling, if you're right, they're going to tell you, yep, that's right. If you're wrong, they're going to say no, and they're going to correct you even more. So labeling what you've heard someone say, it seems like, it feels like, it sounds like, or just summarizing a conversation with that will allow people to then turn around and let you know, yes, you're hearing what I'm saying, or no, let me show you what I mean. And so the more you can listen, and sometimes listening is another important part of that is quit worrying about what you're going to say next and first make sure you understand what they're saying. So many times in sales, we're sabotaging ourselves because we're worried about, okay, what's the next thing I can say to overcome this objection, right? Where a lot of times you're going to create trust, you're going to create a feeling of empathy by showing you understand what they're saying to you. And once they see, oh, man, you really understand what I'm saying, that's where you can then go in and challenge them. That's where you can suggest something new they maybe haven't thought of before. That's where they're going to start listening to what you have to say. They have to see that you understand them. If they don't think you understand them, your product or service, they're not going to really care about at the end of the day. People want to be understood. So, just listening to what people say, repeating things back to them, asking clarifying questions. Hey, I'm interested. You said this earlier. What did you mean by that? Maybe someone tells you a 5-minute story. What did you mean by that, right? And a great way, if they're going on and talking too long, to maybe interrupt them and get them back on track is to use their name. So, if you're talking to someone named Tom and they're just rambling on in the story and they're getting off track with stuff that doesn't make sense, you might say, hey, Tom. And it's interesting. You use somebody's name, they'll stop in their tracks and their ears perk up. Hey, Tom. Hey, look, I know I'm cutting you off, and I think it's really important what you were saying earlier. Can we go back to that? Or, hey, Tom, hey, it seems like you're more interested right now in telling a story than talking about the problem at hand. And so we've only got a half hour to talk about this right now. Can you tell me more about this that you said earlier? And that shows you're listening to them, and it's a great way to interrupt their pattern and get them back on track where you want them to go. And so, once again, are we listening to our prospects? Are we hearing what they're saying? And the best way to show that we are is by repeating the things we're hearing and allowing them to correct us or confirm what we're hearing. The danger is sometimes they start telling us something and we say, oh, this is what you mean, right? Let's get them to say what they mean first and not put things in their mouth. And look, what we don't want to do is we don't want to take away the opportunity for them to discover something by them expressing it themselves. There's so much more power if they tell you something or they have a realization than if you make the point for them, right? So active listening and asking the right questions to get them to talk a little more can help them draw some conclusions that maybe they wouldn't otherwise if you just tell them. Thanks for joining me today on today's Daily Dose of Sales Inception. I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Leader, and the challenge I'd give you today is, are you listening to your prospects?